Hi YouTube. So I wanted to make another video. This time I want to talk about why I chose and why I decided to buy the Sony A7 III camera over the Canon EOS R or the Nikon and some of the other offerings out there. A good buddy of mine, Pedro, he been in photography for, I don't know, 10, 15 years at this point. Die-hard Canon guy. Had, I think a 5D Mark II, or I don't remember which camera. Anyways, a lot of glass, more into the photography side of things, I think. And about a year ago, he decided, he was telling me about the A7 III. Just hyping it up for me. So when I was ready to make the switch, or not make the switch, but go away from my old T3i and kind of get more serious about videography and photography, started doing some research here on the Sony, and I think pretty quickly found out for what I'm looking to do, more of like a hybrid type of photography, videography. It was really probably the camera that made the most sense for me. So went out, I bought the body, and then did just a ton of research on lenses, things like that. Obviously lenses being probably the more expensive side of things, and ended up going with this, which is the Tamron, the 24-75 2.8. And then what I'm filming on right now, I bought a used Zeiss 55 1.8. I got it for $600, I think, my local camera store. And I think it was a pretty good pickup. So a lot of people will say it's the sharpest lens currently on the A7 III. I don't know how true that is, but nonetheless. So that's currently what I'm working with. I have a Rode video mic. I think all in all, I think the whole setup I'm into for, I don't know, close to $4 grand. But I went with the Sony for multiple reasons, so let me backtrack and get back to that. So I think Sony's video recording options, as far as the 120 frames per second and 1080, was really the deciding factor for me. It's not to say that I'm a B-roll monster. I'm out there shooting all sorts of B-roll at this point. Certainly not the case. I'm still familiarizing myself with my equipment and just really trying to figure out how to take good pictures. So, like many of you, I'm sure I spend hours on YouTube, it feels like, every week. On different Facebook groups, different forums, and things like that. So I think, though, picking Sony was a good option for me, in the sense that I just feel that it does the video very, very well. I like the colors that it produces in photography as well. So I know a lot of people are still searching for those Canon colors with Sony, and I think there's some things you can do out there to get it. But everything I've seen so far, I've been very happy with it. I also like the Sony ecosystem. I think it's just, the way I look at it, it's something new. It's the newest thing. And I'm happy. So I feel I made a good decision. That's why I went with Sony over Canon. The other thing is the new line of Canon glass is just ungodly expensive. It's beautiful glass, don't get me wrong. My friend Andrew does hair on Instagram. You can see some of his pictures and videos lately. I mean, I think he's using the 50mm 1.2, if I'm not mistaken. It's just insane, the photography that comes out of this lens. So, but I had to take price into consideration. For me, this is a hobby. I'm not shooting weddings. At best, I'm taking portraits of my kids. Hopefully in the near future, some friends' kids, things like that. So, to spend, $2,600, $3,000 on some of their lenses, I just can't swing it. I feel, though, for starting out, I think this Zeiss 55 and the Tamron, I think it's good for what I'm looking to do. Now, my son plays competitive soccer, so I think I'll probably invest into a 7200 at some point. I definitely plan on renting for a couple of tournament weekends, I think, just to see how I like it. But yeah, so all in all, the reason I went with Sony, like I said, I think it's probably the best hybrid option out there, that's for sure. And I like the dual memory card slots. A lot of people complain about the menus. I'm not really familiar with Canon menus, so I have nothing to compare it to. To me, pretty straightforward. If I have a question, I typically go on YouTube. It gets answered quickly. So that's it. Let me know what you decided to go with. If you're a newer photographer, a newer videographer, let me know what gear you like. What gears, I know right now a lot of people are talking about the Fuji X-T3. Let me know what you're into. So appreciate you guys watching, and my goal is to start making a video a week moving forward. So we'll see how that goes.